Okay, next project. On to the next one. This was a curtain I made for this really ugly window. Now, I think you've probably seen my ugly window in the background of some of my videos. It's an ugly little window, but it brings me light, and what it really brings me is some ventilation or some airflow into this room that this room really needs. It was an addition. It used to be the garage, so it's kind of just an add-on. You don't get a lot of airflow from the rest of the house, which is, fine. So I had to put an air conditioner in this window. I know it's ugly. It's on the side of the house, so it doesn't really show on the outside. And it was so necessary and absolutely perfect for the inside. It just is exactly what this room needed, so I got to have it. And I'm thankful that I have it. But so now I wanted to put this cute curtain up. I found the fabric in the garage. I made me a little curtain, and I'm going to take it down and show you how I did that. And I was thankful that I found this fabric that was just so fabulous, because we have stuff that we save forever and ever, and we got to use it someday. So anyway, but if you can look back, I was sitting here looking at it, and you can see it kind of goes, and it kind of dips right here, and then it kind of goes back up. And for a minute I thought, you know what, that's not even going to bother me. It's fine. It's no big deal. And then I was like, no, I should probably fix that. Over time, it might bother me. Or if somebody comes in, they might see it, it might bother them, or it might just, it could just be obnoxious and needs to be fixed. So I wanted to use this as a great example that sometimes we just, we jump in and we get it going, and it doesn't even turn out perfect sometimes. And then we think, oh crap, or we're going to chuck it, or oh no, or it's like, no, it's not a big deal. I'm going to show you really fast what I did, and we're going to fix it. And it's going to take me just a few minutes. So the first thing I need is just some pins, and I love these little magnetic pin cushions. I don't do a lot of sewing. My mom was a sewer, and bless her, I learned a few things, but very few. So I'm going to take these pins, and I'm just going to come over here to the middle where it's really the saggiest. I'm just going to fold it up like one hem and pin it. That's where I'm going to start. That already makes it look better. So I'm going to trail that down here a little ways. Now this fabric is silky, and to be honest, I hate working with silky fabric. It's hard to sew. It really is not ideal. It gets tricky. So I don't buy it or use it very much, and that's the reason I did this the way I did it, was because I did not want to sew this fabric very much, because I'm just not that good, and it's just not that big a deal to me. Some days if I can't buy what I need, I'll have somebody sew something for me, but this little ugly window wasn't that big of a deal, so we're just rolling with it, right? But I am gonna go down here a little bit farther, do another pin. A little farther, do another pin, and I'm just folding it up like one little hem, and then a little farther and one pin. And then, I'm going to step back and kind of look, and at one point I might just do like half a fold about right here, because it starting to already just look better. Doesn't that already look better? I think right here, I'm looking at it now, I got to do a half. And voila, like that is all we need to do to fix that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to finish pinning really quick. And literally, this is going to be quick, because this is not a project. My heart's in some projects, and they have to be perfect, like my window. Oh, my heart was in that. I had to do that exactly how I saw. This just makes me kind of angry. This is just one of those projects that I don't love. I don't love sewing. I don't love having a curtain that wants to be crooked on me. That I'm not a professional fixer of sewing. So this is just, boom, now look, that's already done. This is just going to be so fast. I pinned that while I'm talking to you, and now I'm going to fix it while I'm talking to you. I'm going to just move the camera and get going on that. Okay, hey, here we are at the ironing board. Not the sewing machine, the ironing board. And this is kind of what we do sometimes. This is I told you this is fast. I'm not a sewer. I'm not worried about it. We just need to do what we need to do. So I do want to show you what I've done so far with this, because I had finished it, right? And you're not going to see my face the whole time. Sorry. I want you to be able to see my hands. Oh, and this good sun comes and goes. Sorry. I'm in front of the window. This fabric came, if you ever buy fabric, it comes on a bolt and it's usually folded in half and you have two pieces. Okay, it's folded, well, it's just folded in half. So this happened to be like the exact perfect size for my window, just where the fold was. So this right here is just where the fold was. And I just left it like that. And there's lots of tricks to sewing, but I'm not getting into that. So what I did, just to be lazy and just to get this little project done, I just kept on the fold. And I did, you're not gonna be able to see very well because this is black, but I laid it out and I pinned it and I ironed it so that it was pretty nice and flat. And then I took about a 1 inch hem all the way across. Then I got that done. Then I went down and I did like about a 1.5, let's see, right here, a 1.5 inch hem after that. And I went all the way across. So I made the little pocket that your rod goes in right there. And you put your rod in, and then you have the little fluffy top. Now, that's exactly what I wanted. You can make that fluffy top as big as you want. And I just wanted it about right there. Well, that's all fine and dandy. Like, that was perfect. I just went and I got that done. But then let me tell you, and you sewers that are really good at sewing, you're gonna wanna not watch this part. It's just because I do what I need to do it sometimes. But when I hung it up, these bottoms didn't match. The front was definitely longer. It was a little ski-wampus. And you know what? I don't care. It was still good enough for what I needed it for. Covered my window. The shortest length covered my window. So I had that be the back, the part that's going to face the window, and then the front that's going to face out is the part that I did do a hem. Now, I did not sew the hem because this silky fabric, it's hard to get perfect no matter what. And since I'm not a sewer, it just wasn't even worth worrying about. So I did this stuff right here. And it's called by many names. Instant hem, hem stitch, stitch witchery. It's basically just, you can see how see-through it kind of is, but it's sticky. And when you heat it up and get it wet, it creates a hem for you. So I went around both sides. Let me see if I can show you. So I went around, well, not both sides, the front side, the side that's going to be facing human beings. I did a nice clean little hem all the way down, all the way across the bottom, all the way up the other side. Done. The back, I just trimmed it so it didn't show. Called it good. But as you see, it was still a little ski-wampus. And as you can tell with my dilemma, I decided I'm going to fix that. So this is how I'm going to do that. Super easy. Where I put my pins. This is where I want to show you. Again, you sewers, turn this off. You will have OCD so bad you'll want to hit me, and that's okay. I get it. My mom would want to hit me too. But this is how we're going to do this today. Let's see, so you can see this. So here's my pinning. I just went and folded that up, pinned it everywhere it needed to be pinned. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to iron that. Now this tapers down to nothing right here. It's got a teeny fold here, and then it's going to have the fatter fold in the middle and probably a teeny fold down at the end. So I just want to iron that so that it has a little bit of a crispness to it, and those edges are just folded up pretty cleanly. Some of them are puckery. You can't really see that, so I just adjust it a little and then go ahead and iron that. And then I'll probably put my little pin back in for now. Just keep it as I'm moving and just iron that. And I'm sorry if the lighting's not great. Once again, I'm in my room with just the window. And that was just kind of a big section, because what I did, when you gather this, you know, there's a lot more there than it looks. So we just want to make sure we get the whole thing ironed nicely and flatly. And here again, it's going to taper down to a tiny little fold from a big fold, so that this all hopefully is pretty flawless. You won't be able to tell when it's all gathery. You're not going to be able to tell. Nobody's going to be able to tell. Nobody's going to care, unless the sewer comes in and says, "Can I look at that curtain? What did you do?" And then they're going to be mortified. Mom, don't look at my curtain. Okay, so I folded that. It's pinned. It's neat. Now here's where your little stitch witchery comes in. I'm going to use these little pieces that I already kind of just had. And I'm going to start on these fatter pieces. Now they tell you you should use a wet rag. I'm not doing that either. That never works for me. So I took the pins out of this middle section. You take a piece of your stitch witchery, and this is going to be like your hem. So you tuck it under the fold all the way to the crease. I'm going to just break it off, because I'm just going to start with that little piece right there. It goes from here to here. Slide it over here. You might want to just watch this because it's entertaining, right? I don't know. Because, you know, I'm just going to wing this. So you have to use a little water, just a little. I moisten that, and you put your iron on it. Now, this is where they say to put a moist towel, is when you do this. I don't know. It never worked for me. I hope it works for you sewers. I'm sure it does for people who know what they're doing. But it never worked for me. So this is just, I don't leave it on and rub it really hard and really hot. I just kind of put it on and I kind of peek. Okay, it worked. It worked. It stuck. So now I'm going to move down a little bit to the next little section. I'm going to take my pin out. I'm going to take another little piece of this. Now you can do this in one big long strand. If you're a professional at this, I'm not. So I'd like to just take it section by section. So I'm going to put this underneath here. Boom, right all the way to the crease. Get my little trusty squirt bottle, moisten it a little bit, and press on. Okay, it's so easy. If I can do this sewing project, anyone can. Oh, anyone can. Okay, now we're just going to move on. This is a part where, you know, if you don't want to watch me do this, you can fast forward ahead. Well, I'm just going to keep going, and it's going to taper down to small, right? So I'm just going to another little piece. I'm going to tuck it in there. Squirt it. And press down. Now, if you get this poking out like right here, it could make your iron sticky. So you want to make sure that you don't let your iron get on there. I'm almost to the end of this little part. I'm going to take my pins out. I'm just going to feel it now, right? I'm just going to feel how I want that to not pucker, and I want it to go until it's nothing, right? Until it's just smooth. And there again, I'm just going to iron a tiny little seam in there till it goes to nothing. Move those. Right down to nothing. So I'm going to get my stuff under here again. Get it all the way to the crease. Now it might poke out a little here, so make sure you don't iron on that. Get it moist. Get it a little bit moist. Isn't that a weird word? Anyway. And then you just seal it down. Try not to get it on my iron. Not on my iron, because that'll make my iron sticky. And then I just need one more little piece right down at this end. Now this just rips, you know. Rips so easy. You could cut it even in half for these little edges that need to have it be thin. And actually, I might just fold it in half. I think that will be fine too, right? So I'm going to fold it, and I'm going to tuck it under there. Can you see? You probably can't see. Let me slide it down, okay? Just tucking it under the thin little hem. Okay, if I were doing more sewing projects in the future, I'll do better lighting. I don't plan to do a lot of sewing projects. That's not my forte. But you know what? Us DIYers, we're gonna try anything, right? We're gonna make it happen. You know, we got it. We'll figure it out. Done. So now I'm just gonna come back to this little end to make sure, because I'm pretty sure I started kind of in the middle. Yeah, oh, I'm almost on the end here. So here we are again, it's just tapering down to nothing. So I'm almost done. Okay, I'm gonna get one more little piece. Pop it off. It only needs to be about that long. I'm gonna fold it under, I fold it in half and tuck it under. So most of it, you want most of that all under there, so your iron. Like I said, the iron doesn't get on it. And voila. Okay, so I've been videoing. It has been 12 minutes total on this one, but you can fast forward parts of that. That didn't take very long. And while talking and doing, it took me 12 minutes. So now, we're gonna go hang it up. Hey, hold on, I'm crooked. This is a tension rod, and I'm sure we all know what tension rods are. They're fabulous for lots of different things. So I did have one just here. So this cost me nothing. I had this here, it cost me nothing, the fabric. So I really just took that little bit of time. I had the stitch witchery, I had, you know, so that's the only way to do hems, right? So this cost me nothing but my time, literally, because everything I had was in my house. So hopefully you can find stuff in your house to use. But I just want to show you what it means when I, you know, for anybody that might not know, most of you I'm sure know, but so I created this pocket at the top for this rod to go in. So hopefully this doesn't take me very long. Hopefully she cooperates and all will be well. But you just want to open that little pocket that you made and you're going to slip your rod through it. Well, this does have rubber ends on them, and sometimes those rubber ends will come off pretty easy. This one didn't want to come off very easy, so I'm just leaving it on, scooching it down. Okay, so it's in the, there's my rod, my fabric, my curtain. And this rod, you know, whatever rod you use, you just have to make sure your pocket is sufficient size to fit the rod that you're going to use. Then goes on pretty easy. Then I'm going to put it up and we're going to see if I was successful enough. And that's going to be good enough for me. I'm going to be successful enough on this project. Like I said, this isn't where my heart lies. This is just one of those gotta get her done projects. Okay, so there. Just pull through. Done. Boom. The tension rod put up. It's going to be super easy. Oh, so I'm so glad that I just redid that a little bit. Look how much more even that is. That took me talking to you, getting her done, 15 minutes, right? So don't worry about if it's not perfect the first time. If you do something that, you know, you hang it up and it's a little skewampus, or, you know, those wreaths, if you're working on doing wreaths and they don't come out perfect, pull them apart, stick them elsewhere. You know, just do it. We don't have to do things perfect all the time, and they still turn out to be exactly what we need. So I hope this gave you a little inspiration to not worry or stress about your project. Just do your best, get it done, tweak it if you need to, and make your house exactly what you want it to be.